In the name of Allah, who's the most compassionate and the most merciful. Dear student, I hope that you are fine and have a good life with your family. And this is Rajasthan University Faculty of Computer Science, English Language, infotech English for computer users. Unit 9, Lesson 9, Device for the Disabled. This is the title, and the year is 2020. This is Salim Muhammad Hikmat with you. Okay, in this unit, what do we have? Here is the topic. In Unit 9, Devices for the Disabled, we have these topics. Assistive technology for disabled people. تکنولوژی کمکی برای معلولین، برای معیوبین، برای آنهایی که دست و پا یا صحبت کردن نمیتونن گنگ هستن، یا شنیدن نمیتونن کر هستن، یا دیدن نمیتونن چشماشان ضعیف هستن. Disabled people. Disabled people, it means handicaps. Handicaps معلولین، کسایی که توانایی صحبت کردن، دیدن، شنیدن و یا راه گشتن چیزی را تایپ کردن ندارن. The Web Accessibility Initiative. The Web Accessibility Initiative. Okay. Learning objective. To understand what sort of input-output devices disabled people can use. To talk and write about how computer can be adapted for blind, deaf and motor impaired user. Blind شخص کور، deaf شخص کر، motor impaired users کسایی که نارسایی مغزی دارن. خب language. In grammar we have noun phrase. It means a range of modifier, adjectives, participles, apostrophe s, genitive nouns. Vocabulary. In this unit we will going to discuss about these vocabularies. Braille, embosser, speech synthesis system, screen magnifier, sip and puff, electronic note taker, text phone, on-screen keyboard, adaptive switch, eye gaze system, touch screen, voice recognition system. Skills. Listening to an interview and taking notes, speaking, discussion, problem focused by computer user with different disabilities and the kind of devices which help to overcome this problem. Reading. To find a specific information in the text, and writing an email summarizing different assistive technology, option material, product design for disabled computer users, or pictures of them. Okay, let's begin with the first task, assistive technology, تکنولوژی کمکی. Look at the word in the box and use as many of them as you can to describe the photo. You will not need all the words. See, blind person شخص کور یا شخص نابینا. motor impaired person شخصی که ناتوانی مغزی داشته باشه. screen magnifier می زوم کردن اسکرین یا بزرگ ساختن اسکرین. بلیر پرینتری که از او نابینا برای تایپ کردن استفاده میکنه. adaptive سویچی که قابل قبول است برای کسایی که نارسایی مغزی داره. touch تچ اسکرین خب میفهمین که ساده است. adapted کیبورد قبول شده. آن اسکرین کیبوردی که در روی اسکرینی کامپیوتر است. voice recognition سیستم شناخت آواز. screen pointing device به طرف اسکرین که به دقت سعی کنی و او اسکرین عکس العمل نشان بده. مثلا طرف یک الفبا سعی کو 2 ثانیه 3 ثانیه که سعی کردی الفبا تایپ شود. مثلا به طرف A الفبای A که سعی میکنی اونجا که تمرکز کردی بازو تایپ میشه. یا طرف یک ویدیو که تمرکز کنی او پلی شود. That is called screen pointing device. screen reader در جایی که شما ماوستان آورین در اون قسمت اسکرین براتون بخوانه. pneumatic switch sip and puff. این چه قسم است که یک شخصی که مشکل داشته باشه pneumatic see here وقتی که یک شخص نارسایی مغزی داشته باشه و گرسنه شود که گرسنه شد از طریق سپ یعنی مکیدن، پف یعنی پف کردن، از طریق سپ و پف برای کامپیوتر بفهمونه که چی ضرورت داره. یا تشناب مثلا میخواه تشناب بره یا که میخواه یک چیزی بخوره، میخواه آب بنوشه، یک چیزی که از اون طریق میتونه با کامپیوتر ارتباط برقرار کنه و برای کسی که چی میکنش از اون مراقبت میکنه برای از اون بفهمونه که ما چی میکنم. اوکی. In picture number 1, let's see what is in the first picture. Picture A. A blind student is using an adapted keyboard in the presence of his tutor. The headphone and screen program allow him to hear the text from the screen. Picture B. A blind girl is using a screen magnifier type of software that enlarge text and image appear in the screen. Picture C. A motor impaired person, probably someone with quadriplegia, is using a pneumatic switch known as sip and puff to operate the computer. Quadriplegia is a person who has motor impaired problem. Okay, picture D. A motor impaired user is unable to type on a keyboard, on a standard keyboard. The on-screen keyboard is activated in the user's eye when he pauses on the virtual keys for few seconds. The video camera and special software in a minute the eyes gaze pine on the screen. Okay. In pair, discuss this question. These are the part B exercises. What sort of difficulties do you think are experienced by computer users with the limitation of version of mobility? What type of devices could be helpful to blind user? How can a person with mobility limitation communicate with a computer? Mobility means disability. Okay. See the first question. What sort of difficulties do you think are experienced by computer user with limitation of vision or mobility. The main limitation experienced by blind users is the inability to use the screen. In addition, they cannot read printed document, office correspondence, etc. User with partial vision cannot see small character sizes on the screen. There are various degrees of mobility limitation. Most motor impaired users are able to use a standard keyboard and have difficulties in manipulating computer devices and printing material. The second question: what type of devices could be helpful to blind user? For blind user, devices including braille input devices, speech synthesis system, screener with optical character recognition, braille printer, imbecers, etc. Question number 3: how can a person with mobility limitation communicate with a computer? There are see here, there are adapted keyboard designed for people with different kind of mobility limitation. There are a variety of alternative input devices that produce and transmit keystroke as if generated by the keyboard. For example, muscle switches, optical height pointer, speech recognition devices, system that scan the movement of the eye or the head in order to make a selection on the computer screen, etc. And the computer for disabled: read the text and find the following. The law which ensure equal opportunity for people with disability in the US and UK. How the blind student in the photo interact with the machine. He uses an adapted keyboard, a headphone, and a screen reader software. The system which type on the screen or what is being said is in meeting, and that is electronic note takers. Number 4, the type of software which read printed material, recognize and text, and then send it to the PC. That is called optical character recognition. Number 5, the system which is activated by the user eye movement, that is called the eye gaze system. Number 6, the switch which can uses by someone with quadriplegia, that is called the pneumatic switch, also known as sip and puff. pneumatic یک چیزی که توسط شش یا سیستم تنفسی اداره شود. The function of voice recognition devices understand human speech, allowing user to speak to the computer and input data. Okay. Computer for disabled. This is the reading section, and let's start reading. Computer have taken a dominant role. What is dominant role? Dominant role, نقش عمده in our society, meaning most job now require access to computer. require access ضرورتی دسترسی پیدا کردن the internet. But what happen if a person is blind, deaf, and motor disabled? They needn't worry. They needn't worry. آنها نگران نباشن. ضرورت نیست که نگران باشن. The latest assistive technology is designed to help them use computer and do their job in the office, learn at school, or interact with their families at home. In addition, New laws oblige مجبور ساختن to adapt که قبول کنن the workplace to accommodate disabled people که یک جای را برای پذیرفتن اشخاص معلول جور کنه یا برشان جای بده. For example, the American with Disabilities Act ADA, American Disabilities Act, and the UK Disability Discrimination Act make it illegal for employer to discriminate against people with disability. Discriminate تعصب باید در مقابل اشخاص معلول هیچگاه تعصب نکنه که قانون امریکا و قانون بریتانیا است. اونا را به چشم حقارت نبینن. To work effectively, most blind users need to have their computer adapted with technology such as Braille. Braille, before I told you, screen magnifier. Also, I explain what is screen magnifier, speech synthesis, and optical character recognition. Braille keyboard have Braille lettering on keyboard. Braille keyboard یا صفحه کلیدی است که برجسته هست و اشخاصی که نابینا هستند از طریق انگشتشان میتونه که اونا را بخونه و او را به نام بریل کیبورد یاد میکنن. خب for output there are printer called braille embossers. یکی بریل کیبورد داریم، یکی بریل امبوزر. بریل امبوزر پرینتری است که میتونه در روی صفحه اموت برجسته پرینت کنه. that produce tactical braille symbol که سمبول های بریل میتونه در اونجا پرینت کنه on both side of pages در دو طرف صفحه at high speed در یک سرعت بسیار بالا. for someone with limited but usable vision a screen magnifier may be appropriated. کسی که یک یک کسی که مشکلی دید داشته باشه، یعنی دیدش خیره باشه، به او خاطر اسکرین مگنیفایر بسیار مناسب است. This type of software can enlarge text and image appearing on the screen by up to 16 times. یک تصویر، یک حرف، یک کلمه، یک جمله را میتونه با 16 مرتبه بزرگش بسازه. A speech synthesis system is used to read aloud the work on the computer. It has a speech synthesizer which produces the audio output and a screen reader. A speech synthesizer system is used to read aloud. speech synthesizer قسمی است که شما در هر قسمتی که از اسکرین تان برین و قسمت برتان ویندوز میخوانه. خب the program which read aloud text and menu from word processor database and the web. OCR before optical character recognition used a flatbed scanner and a spatial optical character recognition software to read printed material and send the text to the computer. The PC can then produce a copy of the text in Braille, a magnified copy on the version that can be read aloud by a speech synthesizer system. The second part of the reading is about deaf computer user can overcome many communication difficulties with the aid of visual alert. کسایی که حس شنواییشان کم هستن اونا میتونه که از ارتباطات مختلف استفاده کنن، ارتباطات مختلف دیداری استفاده کنن. الکترونیک نوت تیکر یعنی یک دیوایسی است که به نام الکترونیک نوت تیکر است و تکست فونیست که میتونه مسیج به. visual alerts are indicator that alert میتونه آگاه بسازه the deaf user when they receive new mail وقتی که یک نامه نو برشان میاد، یک مسیج، یک پیام نو. when there is a system error یا که مشکل سیستم پیدا میکنه، یک مشکل اشتباهی رو برشان alert میده. so instead of hearing a sound the user is alerted by a blinking menu bar or by a message on the screen. یا مسیج میده یا قسم لایت میده برشان. electronic note taker use software that types a summary of what is said in meeting onto the computer screen. Text phones allows the deaf to type and read phone conversation. They are also called TDDs, telephony devices for the deaf, or TTYs, telephony typewriters. They can be used in combination with relay services where an adapter says that the text uses type and types what a voice phone user says. Deaf people can also communicate via SMS and instant messaging. On screen keyboard are software images of a keyboard that appear on the screen and may be activated with trackball. با trackball چی میشه؟ فعال میشه. trackball touch screen pointing device or eye movement یا گردش چشمتان in an eye gaze system قسم است که اونجا خیره میشن شما. The keys on the virtual keyboard are activated by the user's eyes when they pause on a key for 2 or 3 sounds. Here's the eye gaze picture technology consists of video camera and image processing software which determine the eye gaze point on the screen. Okay, let's go ahead for further reading. Eye gaze technology consists of motor impaired worker unable to type on a standard keyboard can employ expanded or ergonomic keyboard on a screen keyboard adaptive switches and voice recognition. This is the standard keyboard for the motor impaired person. Switches come in many shapes and sizes. They are operated by muscles movement or breath control system تنفسی. For example, pneumatic switch known as sip and puff allows someone with quadriplegia to control the PC by puffing and sipping air through pneumatic tube. People with quadriplegia can also use sip and puff joystick مزچوبک استفاده میکنه برای سپ مکیدن و پف کردن. Finally, there is voice recognition which allows the computer to interpret human speech, transforming the word into digitized text or instruction. And the next part we have help box. In help box we are talking about noun phrase, that is grammar part. What is a noun phrase? A noun phrase is a phrase that has a noun as its head. This noun can be accompanied by a modifier that gives information about the head. For example, see This is height and this is modifier. Recognition is height. Speech recognition. Compatible computer. What kind of computer? Compatible computer. Compatible computer. Compatible. Modify the noun. For example, beautiful garden. Garden is the height, and beautiful is a modifier. That's called adjective. A noun phrase can function as the subject or object of a verb. Two kinds: subject and object of a verb. It can contain the following range of modifier: adjective, present participle, apostrophe genitive, and noun. See, I have a portable computer. Which one is modifier? Portable. In present participle, computer is the head and portable is modifier. Present participle, I use this drawing program. Drawing, a program that draws. Drawing is modifier and program is height. Apostrophe genitive. The file are not the director's computer. Director's computer. Director's computer. Computer which belong to the director. Computer is the head, and director apostrophe is modifier. Now I need to buy a color screen. What kind of screen? Scanner. Color scanner, which uses color. Okay. This is an exercise. In this exercise we have a puzzle, and in this puzzle we have cross and down. Cross, it means ufuqi, and down it means amudi. Horizontal and vertical. This is horizontal, this is vertical. Okay. See, for example, in a cross, در افقی چی داریم؟ and keyboard present graphic representation of keyboard. Here is we have blank, and here we have one, or here we have two. On screen keyboard present graphic presentation of keyboard. The desktop screen allow people with mobility impairment to type data using a joystick and putting devices. Here is the answer key for this puzzle. You can do it with yourself. Let's go ahead, and what do we have in task number 3? Language work, noun phrase. Look at the help box and then the noun phrase 1 up to 6. Decide what type of modifier is placed before the head or each case. For example, disabled worker, adjective, and that is adjective. Rehabilitation engineer, that is noun, because we have noun here and we have noun here. Implies ability, genitive case. Adapted keyword, that is present participle, and past participle. Voice activated computer, that is past participle. Number 5, adjective. Pointing devices, present participle. Number 4, adapted keyboard is adjective. Okay, explain the noun phrase in a example. Disabled worker, a worker who is disabled, like this. Rehabilitation engineer, an engineer who works in a rehabilitation company. Okay, task number 4 is on listening, and in this listening you have uh, you can hear the voices from here, and you can play this voice and listen up to the end. Listen up to the end of these voices, and fill these blanks from these voices. If you can, here is the answer key. Help each other to improve. This is the second part. Do it with yourself. Okay. And part number 5, investing in assistive technology. از entrepreneur، من حیث یک متشبث اگر شما کار کنین و من حیث یک کسی که بخواین یک تجارت را آفرین، میخواین شما سرمایه گذاری کنین در بخش تکنولوژی کمکی. شما در اینجا یک پلان کار جور میکنین و بعد از پلان کار شما این پلانتان انکشاف میتین و یک پاراگراف راجع به این موضوع نوشته میکنین. ببینید در قسمت گفته Your school company has decided to invest some of its annual IT budget in assistive technology. مکتب یا کمپانی که شما در اونجا کار میکنید تصمیم گرفته که یک مقدار از درآمد سالانه خود، درآمد بودجه سالانه خود در بخش تکنولوژی کمکی سرمایه گذاری کنه. Write an email to your director of studies. شما یک ایمیل برای امو دایرکتور مطالعات یا تحقیقتان نوشته میکنین یا که منیجر یا برای مدیرتان. Summarizing the different technologies. در این قسمت شما یک از تکنولوژی های دست داشته یا قابل دسترس شما برشان خلاصه از تکنولوژی های مختلفش صحبت، در مورد تکنولوژی های مختلفش صحبت میکنن and the kind of people they can help و برای کسایی که امی تکنولوژی کمک میکنه. If possible اگر ممکن باشه use the internet to find supplier of these technologies in your country. اگر ممکن باشه شما از طریق اینترنت جستجو کنین و کسایی که در این بخش کار میکنه را پیدا کنین. همون کسایی که در این بخش مردم امی مواد تهیه میکنه از طریق اینترنت پیدا کنین. ایمیل تان درست نوشته کنین و این ایمیل یک کار خانگی تان است. خب شما به خاطر further information, when you wanted to get further information, you can go and visit this site www.cambridge.org ELT-ICT for an online task. Well, thanks for your attention. If you have any question, you can ask me. And I am in your service. Please practice with noun phrase, and before at the beginning of this course I gave you a book by the name of Longman Grammar, and if you can't understand what is noun modifier or noun phrase, then please go and check this book. There are many kind of examples of noun phrases in Longman Grammar, and you can solve your problem. Thanks again from your attention. Have a nice time and have a good day with your family.